What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different as we get close to the Breeders' Cup. Kind of one of the things I always like to kind of look forward to or kind of look for are 3-year-olds at the Breeders' Cup trying to beat older horses and trying to become not only champions of their class as 3-year-old of the year or 3-year-old female of the year, but maybe champions of a major top division, right? To really put an explanation point on their seasons or in some cases on their career, get that big win against older horses, because a lot of times you won't see them face older horses whole season because we have tons of races just for 3-year-olds. So I always think it's a really intriguing storyline. How many 3-year-olds can win Breeders' Cup races? How many can you do it? Can we get a couple winners? Can we get 3 winners from the 3-year-old crop this year, and kind of show you the overall strength of the crop now that they're not just facing each other? So I thought it'd be cool to do a video talking and kind of featuring some of these 3-year-old horses that are going to try to win Breeders' Cup races. I couldn't limit it to 5. I've got 8. Sometimes, usually all the time, we try to limit to like 5. I couldn't limit it. We got to go 8. So let's go through them one by one. Some will maybe a little more important or a little better chance than the other, but still a lot of respect for all of these. All right, we'll start off with the filly and mare sprint. What about Echo Zulu? Isn't this an interesting horse here? Coming back as a 3-year-old, it's kind of been a little bit wild. Of course, last year, hey, Echo Zulu was the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner and won it with ease on her way to a 2-year-old Female of the Year award and her 4th straight victory. So she was a favorite coming into this season for the Kentucky Oaks after all those races. And it's so far, or well, I shouldn't say so far, at first it started off good. She won the Fairgrounds Oaks, and even though she didn't look great, it was a win. It was her first race back. But her first race back was indeed that Fairgrounds Oaks. So shows you she was a little behind schedule. She goes to the Kentucky Oaks. She ran her heart out that day in the Kentucky Oaks. She could do no better than 4th, though, and was defeated. Then we went to Belmont Park in the Acorn. We cut her back in distance. We're thinking this is a perfect spot for her to get a Grade 1 race. A mysterious scratch. Evidently, she was lame before the race. Didn't see her for a long, long time. Came back on September 24th in the Dogwood at Churchill Downs, a Grade 3 race, and looked like a star. This horse now is back on the radar. She may be like 8-10-1 in the filly and mare sprint, but let's not forget, this horse has lost once, and this horse is a Breeders' Cup winner already from last year. I think she's a very interesting entry into this thing. I think she could get the 3-year-olds kicked off right with the first Breeders' Cup of the day, first Breeders' Cup race of the day on Saturday at Keeneland. So Echo Zulu, one to keep an eye out. We'll go quickly on this one. Gunite is another one. Just ran in the Perryville last weekend at Keeneland, and I did the preview for that video, and I said I kind of thought Gunite would be in the sprint. I'm really surprised he's in the Perryville here. Well, as it turns out, that was kind of a test run for the sprint, according to Steve Asmussen. Now, we don't know if Gunite will show up in the race or not, but he probably will be nominated, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if Gunite's there. If he does show up, he's kind of got the running style to sit off the pace and make a run. That's usually what wins the sprint. I think Gunite makes sense. He's another one, kind of a, quote unquote late entry, kind of like Echo Zulu. Another one, though, had a lot of class as a 2-year-old, Grade 1 winner as a 2-year-old. I think Gunite makes sense for the sprint. I think he'd be a very nice addition to that race. Speaking of the sprint, Jack Christopher, maybe one of the best 3-year-olds in the country. Well, no, maybe about it. He is. At the sprint distance, he is 100% the best. Overall, I think he's still one of the 2 or 3, 4 top best 3-year-olds in this country. Here's the deal. We don't really know where he's going to go. He's kind of got the running style for the sprint, just like Gunite. He won't sit that far behind like Gunite will, but Jack Christopher kind of stalks the pace in each of his races. He'd make a ton of sense for the sprint. He'd also make a ton of sense for the mile. We'll see what happens. The mile is at 2 turns at Keeneland. That could be the difference in him maybe running in the sprint versus the mile. We'll see. They're still undecided. Either race he enters, he's got a great chance to win. Other than maybe one other horse, you could say Gunite probably has the best chance of any 3-year-old to win a Breeders' Cup race this year. That one other horse, don't worry, we're going to cover here in a minute. But Jack Christopher certainly is going to be formidable in either the sprint or the mile. Another horse, if we're talking about the mile, I've heard Cyberknife, who is still on the fence, whether the mile or the classic. If he enters the mile, you better look out for Cyberknife. This 3-year-old, first of the year, Brad Cox said as much. Kind of a goofy horse, didn't really have it together mentally. He's put it together in a big way over the summer. Huge win in the Haskell, ran pretty good in the Pennsylvania Derby at Parks. I think the cut back to a mile makes a little bit of sense. I think the class cut back makes even more sense to him. Cyberknife in the mile. He'll be a little bit of a long shot, I think. Keep an eye on him. And I'm talking dirt mile, by the way. Keep an eye on him. I think he's got a shot. Turf mile. What about Annapolis? This horse beat older horses, one of the few that has done it. Last time out over this track at Keeneland in a grade 1 race. This is the major prep for the turf mile. I think Annapolis has got a big shot. I think he proved that day he's probably our best turf miler in the United States. That's the problem. Annapolis probably has, other than the classic runners, the toughest assignment at all, because all those European runners are going to invade, including modern games, and that's going to make it tough for Annapolis. So he's in a very tough spot, but he does have a shot to get the job done. He ran very well over this track at Keeneland last time out. Todd Pletcher horses are running fantastic right now, so it wouldn't be a shock if he won it. He's another 3-year-old that's got a really good shot to get the job done. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go to the distaff. Let's go to Nest. Easily the best 3-year-old filly in the country. She's got that division on lock. She can become, a legend with a win here and just rattling off victories. And let's not forget, Nest was so close to winning the Belmont. If she could have won that Belmont and then went on the run she's been on and then convincingly win the distaff, not saying she could be horse of the year, but she would have a strong case and she would definitely be a finalist if she isn't anyway. So that loss in the Belmont may have cost her, being one of the top 2 or 3 horses at the end, assuming she wins this distaff. She's the most likely winner of for a 3-year-old of a Breeders' Cup race, without any doubt in my mind. She's got to beat her stablemate Malathot. That's not going to be easy. Nest is really, really good, and she has shown a ton. So I really like Nest in this spot. I think she's going to be pretty tough to beat in the distaff. I think she's the most likely 3-year-old to win a race at the Breeders' Cup. Finally, we'll go to the last race of the day, the Classic, and we've got 2 horses that are coming into it fantastic from this 3-year-old crop. Of course, I'm talking about Epicenter and Taiba. Epicenter has turned into a beast over the summer. His races at Saratoga were fantastic. An easy win in the Jim Dandy, an even easier win in the Travers. Fantastic horse. He has developed a killer instinct that he had not had before the summer. So Epicenter, he's going to be tough to beat. Taiba is also going to be really tough to beat. He is coming into this race perfect. I mean, fantastic. Finally got a regular situation, so to speak, with this horse. He was rushed to the Derby. I kind of felt like he got rushed back to the Haskell. Finally got, second off the layoff Pennsylvania Derby. Let's see what he can do. It's kind of now or never. Show the talent, Taiba. Wow, he improved in a big-time way when he kind of had those normal, setup conditions. He should run even better off of this race. I think he's the horse that's going to improve the most in the Classic. Unfortunately for Taiba, unfortunately for Epicenter, as good as they are, they might just be running into a buzzsaw in Flightline. He's going to be really, really tough to beat. If he stubs his toe, those 2 3-year-olds can beat him. So he will have to show up with a good race. All indications are he's going to show up with a phenomenal race, not just a good race. But if he doesn't, these 3-year-olds are going to make him earn it, and they're going to make him earn it more than any other horse he's faced so far. So that being said, there it is. There's the 8 horses I really like as 3-year-olds coming into this Breeders' Cup. Last year, man, we had some really, really good horses coming into the Breeders' Cup as well. Life is Good ended up winning the mile. Golden Powell won the turf sprint. Really thought Jackie's Warrior might win the regular sprint, and he did not. So we only had a couple of 3-year-olds win last year. Let's see if we can get 3 this year. I don't know. It's going to be really tough. I think we'll get 1 for sure. Betting on 2. That 3rd one might be a little bit tough because, boy, they're up against it, some of these horses and some of these races. But, hey, it's the Breeders' Cup. You expect that. But anyway, that's the top 8 that I see right now as far as 3-year-olds that can win at the Breeders' Cup. I'm looking forward to seeing every one of these horses. They've really proven to be nice in one way or another over the year or over the course of the season. And we'll see what they do here. So, all right, that's our Breeders' Cup coverage of the 3-year-olds as we are now less than 2 weeks away. So it's getting pretty exciting. All right, guys, thanks everybody for watching this video. If you like it, make sure to hit the like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. You'll get alerted anytime we do any of these Breeders' Cup type videos, including previews or special videos or horse by horse videos. Anything we do, you'll get alerted. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you for the next one.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best betting tips and coverage for the 2022 Breeders' Cup. Our wagering guides have cashed for thousands. You cannot miss our 2022 Inside Track wagering guide to the Breeders' Cup. So hurry up and subscribe, then go to RacingDudes.com, check out the free picks for every race, every track across the country, and the Inside Track to the Breeders' Cup wagering guide available soon.